Mark. Hey guys, Treeroot here again with Chapter 2 of the Heroes Rise, even the Prodigy, the game by Choice of Games, which we are playing through at the moment. We're on Chapter 2 by the Roots, which of course is a chapter after my own heart. And last week, of course, we fought off. We busted up an Annie gang fight, a fight between gangs, and we flew home, and we found out that we work at Virtuous Realities, I think. Anyway, sorry about tutting. I'm really trying hard not to do that, but it's just creeping into my habits for some reason. Let's get started anyway. Once upon a time, your parents, the Sound and the Fury, were Millennial City's most famous powered couple. When they met in high school, they discovered that your mother's ability to generate vocal sonic waves perfectly complemented your father's ability to harness sound energy. Almost immediately after they arrived at MC's hero scene, the public became enamored with the budding romance of their harmonious power set. As they rose rapidly to the hero A-list, no villain was too dangerous for them to battle, and no party was too exclusive for them to attend. This meant that you got to spend your childhood immersed in MC's finest hero high life, knowing that someday you'd fight alongside your parents as a famous hero. Until your 13th birthday, that is. It was going to be the best night of your life, the first time your powers might begin to manifest. Your parents were at a press conference speaking about one of their recent successes, shutting down an assassin training academy, masquerading as a public high school. Wait, what? This universe is amazing. An assassin training academy masquerading as a public high school. How would you get away with that? Anyway, they were supposed to say a few words about the mission and then come straight home to celebrate your big night. However, just as they were preparing to leave, a young villainess crashed the event. She was Miss Artillery, one of the Assassin Academy's teachers, and she entered ranting about how the Sound and the Fury had ruined her life. She quickly went on the offensive with her power to generate weaponry, and your parents moved to apprehend her. But for some strange reason, perhaps they were both in such a rush to get home to you, they miscalculated their joint attack. In what became the biggest news story of the year, the Sound and the Fury murdered Miss Artillery by liquefying her brain, snapping her spine, or blowing out her heart. Okay, so it's vibrations and energy powered by vibrations. Vibrations. I think that's gonna just liquefy a brain. While your father used his sound-enhanced strength to restrain Miss Artillery, your mother aimed to disable her with a quick sonic blast. You still don't know whether your mother misjudged the strength of her blast or your father miscalculated the angle. Either way, when the blast cleared, Miss Artillery drooped in your father's arms, pink matter oozing from her nostrils. Oh, pink matter? Your brain is grey. Come on, guys. This certainly wasn't the first time a hero had accidentally used fatal force against a villain. Traditionally, this mistake would only require a fair amount of community service and a hefty fine, especially for heroes of your parents' caliber. However, this incident came on the heels of a recent string of excessive hero and villain brutality, and the case fell into the hands of Judge Victon, an up-and-comer who was making a play at becoming NC's mayor. Deciding that a harsh ruling would set the perfect example for a zero-tolerance campaign against heroic brutality, Judge Victon passed the harshest sentence ever given to any powered hero. Citing a murderous misuse of powered ability, he sentenced your parents to a life term in the Devoid, a maximum security facility for powards without visitation rights. A life term, is that just like 30 years or whatever a life sentence is, or is that a full life? Because I mean, that's quite a lot. Also, it's interesting the dynamic between powered brutality of heroes on villains and police brutality against criminals and non-criminals as well, potentially. I mean, what about bystanders? You know, surely bystanders get hurt. That's what The Boys is all about, wasn't it? They've got loads of superheroes just running around causing havoc, and civilians get hurt. They basically just need pulling into line and need some serious shit kicking into them occasionally, basically, to keep them in line. But anyway, getting back to the hero's rise at hand. This is a dramatic moment as well. The last time you saw your parents was the day of the infamous sentencing, right before the police escorted them to the Devoid. You'll never forget the image of your mother and father in orange jumpsuits, handcuffed and shamed, their spirits broken. Judge Victon wouldn't even let you hug them. What an ass! Judge Victon is a dick, man. Your mum couldn't stop crying as the police escorted away. Excuse me? Your mum couldn't stop crying as the police escorted away, but as your dad followed, he turned to you and said the words you'd come to live by. Don't let this stop you, Declan. Become a hero for us. Your father could not have known the profound effect those words would have on you, especially after his unjust treatment at the hands of the legal system. As a result, you have a very strong belief regarding the law. I'll always follow the law in order to avoid my parents' fate. However, I don't necessarily mind getting a bit creative with the law if the situation absolutely calls for it. I have absolutely no problem with breaking the law. I try to follow it whenever it seems reasonable enough, though. I have absolutely no respect for the law. I know that I have to live my life by my own rules. Well, I think the word, we should have just called the superhero pragma, shouldn't we? Being so pragmatic. I have no problem with breaking the law. You know, sometimes to be a hero, you have to break the law, as we saw obviously in the first chapter when we broke up that anime fight. We do, you know, but it is sensible to try and live by it as much as you can. However, after the trial, your parents' considerable fortune was transferred to Miss Artillery's estate, and you were assigned to live with your only living relative, your grandma. However, moving in with her wasn't so simple. Over the course of their careers, your parents amassed a deadly collection of enemies, each of whom would be thrilled to seek revenge on the Sound and the Fury's now defenseless family. So the court enrolled you and your grandma in Empowered Family Protection Program, PFPP. You and your grandma were given brand new identities. The Sterling name was assigned to you, though you at least got to keep your first name. Grandma suddenly found herself forced to live in a pitiful PFPP stipend and had to move you into a small apartment in the eastern fringes. She also had to pull you out of your fancy powered-only private school and enroll you in the local public school. Over the course of a few short months, your life became entirely unrecognizable to you, and it has never been the same since. That's why every day you remind yourself of who you really are. Your real family name, I was about to actually ask this, your real family name is Tricamo, Apple, Castan, Rosado, Lee, Rizzo, Dector. We could be Declan Dector, Ito, Rizzo, pretty close to Rizza, not quite good enough though. I think we go with the honourable name Lee. I mean, Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Stan Lee, hiding in the lee of a building from the rain. These are all really brilliant Lees, and I think we'll go for that. So Declan Lee was no more, giving away instead to Declan Sterling. And you found that the Sterling version of yourself was vastly different, forced to grow up way faster than anyone would ever should. Back in the kitchen, you look across the table at Grandma. She is the only other person in the world who understands how you feel. After all, she was forced to abandon the life that she had built for over 70 years to enter the PFPP with you. Despite this, Grandma has still managed to start over and find a way to be happy once again. And without her, you'd have no shot at becoming a hero. Thank you, Gran, you repeat, fighting against the lump forming in your throat. This is, Gran has just given us a hero card, an official, she's just paid off our application fee, basically, so that we actually now are official superheroes. Oh, hush up, dear, Grandma says, wiping at her cheeks. What are you waiting for? You've got a career to start. Sweet. You run into your room where you have made sure not to keep any plants since you don't need Grandma's best spies hanging around. It is decorated plainly, but what truly makes the room yours is the wall filled with famous posters of your favourite powered heroes. Framed posters of your favourite powered heroes. There's lots of F's and P's in that sentence. Featured centrally are your parents in their classic Sound and Fury costumes, right next to your favourite powered hero, Rebellion. He has been your idol ever since you were a little kid. You've got plenty of other posters of heroes You've got plenty of other posters on your hero worship wall, but whose career do you really want to emulate the most, the team players or the solo heroes? Rebellion, leader of the Millennial Group MC's #1 powered team. The Everyman Brigade, MC's most prominent work-for-hire team. Static, the Eastern Fringe's current champion. Or Black Magic, MC's latest hero heartthrob. Well, there's bonus points to working in a group, I guess. You can achieve more things, you know. When they were taking on I don't know. I mean, I quite like being work for hire team. Well, I think we should go for team for Rebellion, the very top. Let's shoot for the stars, basically. Rebellion was initially raised amongst the meek, a fervent anti-powered cult. He eventually broke free of their influence to become a shining symbol of powered progress, doing everything from fighting in the Third World War to receiving the very first Millennial City's Hero of Tomorrow, Hot grant, and making it the highest honor possible for any aspiring hero. Rebellion also reshaped the Millennial Group, which has been MC's most famous powered team for decades. The group has gone through countless roster changes, the history of which you know by heart, of course. Today, the group's roster consists of Rebellion, the team's long-standing leader, the Diva, a wickedly powerful powered team matriarch, Fistful, the steroid-pumping muscle of New Jersey, Monk, a spiritual guru turned hero, and Processor, an artificial intelligence strategist and information hub. So a computer, a spiritual guru turned hero. That's Monk is a well cool sounding hero name, I have to say. Every morning you stare at the hero wall and envision your own poster will look like amongst these famous heroes. Peeling your eyes away, your attention wanders down the video game you're supposed to be testing. Now that you have your license, you can finally quit the game testing job, since there are dozens of ways for heroes to earn a living. Most of these paid jobs are very difficult to obtain though. You've heard the horror stories about the endless lines at the DRPR to collect powered hero unemployment. Still, you don't think twice about tossing the video game in the trash and reaching for your single most prized possession, your Max Power costume. I totally nearly read that as IMAX Power. As you suit up, you pull your mask over your face to protect your identity. Even though no one would ever recognise you as the Sound and the Fury's child now that you're all grown up, you don't need anyone discovering your sterling identity and coming after Grandma. You've been perfecting the right costume for a long time, since it's your calling card as a hero. Now, knowing this, you've chosen a colour scheme that's all tones of black and metal grey for intimidation, going the Batman route. Bright and bold primary colours to get noticed, like the Flash, for instance. Black and bronze, the colours of Millennial City flag. Can't think of a hero for that. Blue and gold, the colours of my favourite hero, Rebellion. Pretty similar to Wolverine as well, actually. Red and silver, the colours of my parents' Sound and Fury costumes. Well, I'm a sucker for going with symbolism, basically. So I think we're going to go with the colours of my parents' Sound and Fury costumes, because that makes sense to me. Every time you put on your costume, you can't wait to use your powers, so you snap your fingers, generating a small pop of energy, which also happens to be your favourite colour. Create my own colour. Oh wow, sorry, the idea of being able to have a pop of black appear when I snap my fingers as a spark of energy sounds really cool and surreal. So as the pop of black energy fades, you look over at your costume in the mirror, knowing that style without substance means very little, so you've chosen design features that amplify your powers. Truth be told, you'd have been able to afford your hero license way sooner if you hadn't spent so much money on your most prized upgrade. Aerodynamic round curves and small back wings for maximum speed, a rocket backpack to channel excess energy and add propulsion to my normal speed flying, large metal wristbands that store energy for blasting. Ooh, wow, this Wow, this is questions. Excess energy. It's got to be large metal wristbands for storing energy for blasting. I'm sorry, way too cool. This offensive upgrade allows you to create blasts at half the power cost, an invaluable source while in the field. Next, as you, Max Power, stand there in front of your perfect costume with all your intentions set, you realise you're finally ready to start your hero career. But becoming a legendary hero means more to you than just fulfilling your own dreams. It's about redeeming the Lee name. You have one ultimate goal: to become an A-list hero and reveal to Millennial City that you are actually the Sound and the Fury's child. You know that achieving this level of success is the only way to restore the only way to restore honor to your parents and redeem your family's legacy in the hero world. And because it's so important to your end goal, one central question constantly plagues you. In your rise to become a legend, is it more important to focus on achieving fame or upholding justice? Well, you want to rise and become a legend. We could become an anti-hero, though. You know, we don't necessarily need to uphold. I mean, if we want to be a superhero, technically, we probably should aim at upholding justice. I'll need everyone to know my name to get to the top. I don't care what they're saying as long as they're talking about me. Having people know who I am is always going to help, but only if my reputation as a hero is worthwhile. It's vital that I uphold justice first and foremost, but that doesn't mean I can't smile for the press once a mission is accomplished. Always doing the right thing will make a hero worthy of legend. I'll get to the top by never compromising my commitment to justice. That sounds like Superman, though. I mean, that's boring. That's a really boring view. It's vital that I uphold justice first and foremost, but that doesn't mean I can't smile for the press. No, I think having people know who I am is going to help out quite a lot, actually. I think, you know, if we have our face out there, for all we know, villains might actually just run away from us and stop when they see us coming. So, you know, that might be a positive benefit, you know, being a camera whore for the press. Cool, words aren't working right now, are they? Sorry, guys. For having the courage to begin your hero rise, your legend has already increased. Your legend level is the most important meter for gauging your success in the hero world, and is affected not by the decisions you make, but also by any fluctuations in your public image. Rebellion's legend is the highest on record, an astounding 100, so that is your ultimate goal. Your legend level is tracked on your hero license. Flip it over and see. You've got a long way to go since your current legend is at a lowly 1. So we can check our stats here. Oh right, we've got Victon, the judge. Yeah, of course our relationship with him is going to be bad, isn't it? Legend, there we go. 1. Money, 2,100. Health, we're pretty good today. Next. For having the courage to begin your hero's... Oh, wait, no, that's the same thing. You sigh and place the license on your desk. Since the plastic version is only a keepsake, the official version of your license has already been scanned and uploaded into your Me chip, a bit of personal tablet technology embedded in the underside of your wrist. Starting to sound like a song by the rapper LP right here. Not too long ago, people used paper slips to pay for things and little plastic devices as phones, but that was all before communications, identification, entertainment and banking functions became standard in Me chips. Each Me chip becomes fully customizable with robotic personality programming that adapts to your habits and desires. There are 3 standard templates available for the robotic personality, so you decided to go with the polite butler, Sassy Diva, or the supportive caretaker. I'm going to go with Sassy Diva. It's always got to be sassy sidekicks, right? Who doesn't want a sassy sidekick? You then decided to name your Me chip diva Aretha, Whitney, what? Haley Lou, Lee Clarkson, or La Clarkson, sorry. Aretha, that's a weird name. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard the name Aretha before. Anyway, we're gonna go with that. Kudos on the license, sugar, Me chip Aretha says inside your head, sounding snappy. Kudos on the sugar, on the license. What? Kudos on the license, sugar, Meechip, Aretha says inside your head, sounding snappy. All Meechip functions are connected directly to your senses, so Aretha floats in front of your eyes, thanks to a holographic imaging wired to your retinas. Only you're able to see Meechip, Aretha, who appears as a drag queen wearing roller skates. That sounds awesome. You best work that career, honey. Thanks, Aretha, you say, smiling. You then take a moment to check your hero statistics by clicking on the Show Stats button located at the top of the screen. The choices you make throughout your career will be reflected in the statistics level listed here. You also know that in turn these stats and levels will significantly affect the course of your hero career. The choices you make will have real consequences, so be sure to choose wisely. Well, we've already done that, so. Aretha, you say, move the Show Stats button to my home screen and... You all look insane talking to these electronic voices inside your heads, Grandma says from the doorway. That's why I simply refuse to have one of those machines implanted in me. Just doesn't seem right. I know how you feel about Meechip's Grand, you say, turning towards her. It's annoying because now that they've done away with the landlines and cell phones, there's no way of getting in touch with you. Which is precisely how I like it, Grandma says. But look at you, a hero, a born Lee hero. Well, this born hero had better get out there, you say, shaking off your nerves. This career isn't going to start itself. Wait, before you go. Grandma walks towards you and you see that she holds an envelope in her hands. Your stomach drops. Another envelope. She already... It's such a big day, Grandma says, her eyes on the floor. They'd want to be here so badly. Your jaw goes tight. You know exactly what Grandma wants you to do. While the Devoid may not allow its prisoners to have any visitors, it does permit them to receive letters. For years you wrote to your parents, telling them everything about your life. You thought writing those letters would make you feel better, but it only made you feel worse, because the Devoid doesn't allow its prisoners to write any letters back. It's been years since you've written anything. Grandma looks up at you and your heart feels like it might break. I'm sorry, you say, but you know how I feel about this, Gran. You don't write letters to your parents anymore because it's too painful. I'm angry that my parents had abandoned me. That's stupid. This option right here. This is writing laziness. Okay, I'm not dissing on Zachary Sergi here particularly, but this is something that we see in TV so often, and it really annoys me because, you know, for someone to be angry that their parents abandoned you, that's irrational. I need to learn to live without them. I don't know what to say. Well. It's too painful. Not writing letters to your parents proves just as difficult as actually writing them, so it's a task that you try to avoid thinking about entirely. Grandma knows this, so she doesn't press the issue. All right, Declan, Grandma says, fighting to keep her face even. Now listen to me. Please be careful out there. Lord knows I won't be able to sleep until you're home. I will, Gran, I promise. Then off you go, she says, drumming up a smile. And do try to kick some butt, yes? Ready to go, you set up on your Windows 14th story ledge and look out over the grandeur of Millennial City. One of the advantages of living in the eastern fringes is the spectacular view of MC's iconic skyline. You take a deep breath, letting the energy of the city run through you. Standing on this precipice, you can't help but wonder what kind of hero you'll become. And will you be able to survive long enough to achieve the legend status you crave? The choice is up to you, you think to yourself right before you jump off the ledge. Next chapter, the lower case. Cool, guys. I think we're gonna call it there with the end of this chapter. Doing an episodic format with this, fitting to the chapters, seems to be quite sensible to me. So I think we're going to call it there. And no spoilers for the next episode. So yeah, I hope you're all having a wicked day. I am Root. Peace.